It's just quite simple. He doesn't believe Ukraine has a right to be independent, doesn't believe in its borders, and that's just the first country. And he's going to start with everywhere else that he thinks that he has a chance of taking. It's the way that, unfortunately, he wants to see the end of his rule being defined. I hope that is extremely short end. Hopefully.
Okay, so this is going to be an interview with my friend Ina, who is currently in Kherson, a city in the south of Ukraine that's under attack by the Russian forces during this invasion. Unfortunately, I'm looking at it now, and when I record on Zoom, you only have Ina and not me on the camera. I just recorded hers, but she's going to speak for most of it. Anyways, just a few questions from me. So let's get into the interview.
Привіт, Іна, як справи?
Привіт, слава Україні. Мої справи добре. Я жива, здорова. Як твої справи?
Super. Well, we'll switch back to English so that everyone can understand this. But Ina, you are a Ukrainian language YouTuber helping foreigners learn Ukrainian. That's actually how we know each other. And, you know, we talked about a collaboration, everything. And of course, with this new invasion of Ukraine in the last week, we've had to put that on hold. So I wanted people to really watch my channel to get a real feeling for what it's like still to be in Ukraine, because you are in Kherson, which is a city in the south of Ukraine, not so far from Crimea, and not so far from you know, it's on the Dnieper River, and it's not so far from a very strategic dam on the river, which, you know, the HES, the hydroelectric dam up in Novokakhovka, and there has been obviously very heavy fighting where you are for the last since the beginning. We're now on day 6 of the invasion. So how are you holding up? Where are you exactly? And yeah, what have you been hearing and seeing there in Kherson?
It's very tough, and I'm in my apartment. And 30 minutes ago, before our call, we had very big explosions, and we were hiding. And I thought that we won't be able to have this call with you, but anyway, right now it is quiet again, thanks God. And we are still very scary because, as you know, Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Kherson, they are on the bombs regularly, and everything started on the 24th of February. We woke up at 6 a.m. from the very big explosion, and my husband went at war on the first day, and I stayed with my friends who have small kids, and their husbands, they're also at war. So we are hiding together, and we were in the district that is located near the Antonivsky bridge. This bridge connects the Kherson region with the city of Kherson. So all the troops, Russian troops, they go from the Crimea. Again, I can hear the explosions. They are many troops. They are going from the Crimea, and when they go to invade Kherson, they go through this bridge. So we have all the time big fights on that bridge, and we were on the first night we were sleeping near that bridge, and we heard very big explosions. It was so scary. I slept with my friend and with a small baby, and we heard first of all bombs, then Grad. You know, this is a very big military vehicle, Grad, and then we heard aircrafts, and we couldn't sleep. And I was reading my smartphone every 30 minutes, reading the news. It was so scary. And the next day, it was scary again, many bombs, and we decided to change a little bit location because that district near the bridge of my city, it was evacuated, and they bombed civilian houses, civilian cars. They killed some people, and already civilians and kids died. Yesterday we read on news that everybody of the civilians who tried to cross the street, they are killed or take as the Russians, they take them. Or we read the news that they killed a woman and her son escaped, and everybody is looking for this boy in the city. It's a big tragedy. It is very scary because they really the atmosphere in my city is very scary. They are bombing civilians, they are killing civilians, even kids. They kill kids. That's true. It's so bad. And yesterday and the day before yesterday, it was a little bit quiet, and we could sleep not in the basement in the apartment. I slept in my bedroom on the floor because it was dangerous to stay in the living room or bedroom because when you sit near the window, it is very dangerous, you know. So I slept in the bathroom because there are no windows. And the first days we slept in the cold basement. It was very cold, raw, and it was very tough. It is awful. And what can I say about the current situation? We are in the regime of occupation. So
let me
all the
stop you
time
there
we,
for a second. Stop you there, Ina.
yeah,
So at the moment, what you described is pretty horrendous. Being stuck in a war zone would always be a lot of shells being fired, soldiers on the street. It's a war zone. So this is
yes,
unfortunate. There have been civilian casualties. That seems pretty clear. I made to look at what's happening in Ukraine because the internet is still up, which is something kind of remarkable. I hadn't expected that, and a lot of information has gotten out. And there's enough videos to be convincing that obviously there have been civilian casualties, not just in Kherson, in other parts of Ukraine. What is the current situation? Who's in control of the city? Have you been able to go outside and buy food? You have electricity and water still, or?
I have never I have never gone outside during these days, and we have some. Me and my friends, we took all food from our fridges, what we have, and our male friend, he brought us some food because we are afraid to go out. So, and yesterday we got the news that it is not allowed for people to go out because we have many Russian soldiers out on the streets. They're going not only on tanks but on foot with their guns, and we got the warnings. They can take women, kids, and the live shield for them. So
okay, it's human
when they,
shields with them.
yeah, human shield. If they force for the Ukrainian army, they will use people as the human shield. So it is very scary. So we don't risk to go out, only in the basement, and at night we don't turn on the light. Yes, we have gas, we have electricity, we have internet, we have water, everything is good, but we are afraid to turn on the light at night, so we sit without it. And we have a male friend who brought us some food, so we have what to eat, and we are in a regime of economy. No, we try to be very economic. I don't know how to say.
Yes, yes,
So we don't. Yeah,
parsimonious with what you eat. Yeah, clearly. So
yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't
So
know how long it's going to last.
yeah. So we eat basically porridges or cook soup, drink tea, and we have a lot of, you know, we have this word like homemade cans, you know, like cucumbers, like cucumbers, tomatoes. My mom, she did this kind of preparation, so we can open them anytime and eat. So actually we don't eat meat a lot. We eat usually porridges, and we cook soup. So this is the current situation. And what else? Yeah, of course we have. I hear explosions again. It's very scary. Although we heard the news that they are not exactly in the city, but around the city. But the district where I live, it is close to the to the field, you know, to the field, battlefield, and to the field
Okay.
where nobody lives. And our city is like in the circle right now, you know. We are
Okay. So
in the circle around the Russian troops, and it is very dangerous to go somewhere by car, because many people, many foreigners, they write me, Ina, why don't you escape, go to another city, go to another country, go to the West? I can't right now. It's very dangerous. And, you know, it takes hours to go by car to Lviv. I'm sorry, my dad called me because my parents, they worry a lot. They don't live in Kherson. They live in the Kherson region. They live in the village that is very close to Crimea, and I can't go to them because I need to cross the bridge, and it is blocked. It is blocked, and they worry a lot about me, and it is so bad because every day my morning starts that I'm reading the news and I call my relatives, my parents, because they all live in Kherson region and I live in the city. So it is very bad. And yeah, I said that we are in a circle and there are a lot of block posts.
Yeah, there's a
Russian
lot of
block posts.
checkpoints, and at the moment, the city is encircled by Russian troops. So there's basically a
Yes.
siege. You've been
Yeah.
hearing gun. From your position, have you been hearing? You've obviously heard rocket fire. You've been told as you can hear shelling. Have you heard gunfire, small arms fire? You know, it's not so easy to just say leave in these situations. How are you going to do that? Are you going to drive your own car?
I don't have a car. It's
Yeah.
a problem. I don't have a car. I can't drive. I have with me friends with kids. It's very tough, and it is dangerous to go from Kherson to the west of Ukraine, because from west of Ukraine I can go to another, like to Poland, to Bulgaria, anywhere. I can't. It takes a lot of time. My friend, she from Kherson, she escaped on the second day of the war. Her father, he took her and her mom, and she called me. She wrote me that they spent 3 days to get from Kherson to Romania. And she said it was very tough and they don't have money. I'm sorry, my relatives, my grandma was calling. We had explosions recently. So after explosions, all my relatives start calling me and asking, are you alive? I say, where are you? What is going on? So, you know, this is our reality.
I mean, you can't leave basically at the moment from Kherson, and the fighting will continue. Do you have enough food and water and stuff like that, that it's not going to become, you know, a survival issue just on the essentials?
We have right now, maybe it will be enough for 3-4 days. I hope it will be more or less okay to ask our friends to bring us some food, and the situation won't become worse here. But I don't know how long will it last. Maybe it will last a months, who knows. But I think when we have an opportunity, we will have to escape, because Kherson is a very hot spot here, and they will continue to bring regularly troops from the Crimea. So it is very dangerous here. And many of my subscribers, they write, come to Canada, come to United States. It's very tough. I can't go to your countries because it's very far from, and it is very expensive to go to your countries to buy even flight tickets. And I'm not alone. So, of course,
your male friend who's been helping you, is he actually able to go out and buy food in shops and come to you with food?
Yes, shops, and not all, but we have on our official publics, our authorities, they give us the list of the pharmacies and the supermarkets that work, and their addresses, so people know where they can go and get some food. And also there are some volunteers who bake bread, and also they write the address of the restaurants, coffee shops, where you can go and get food, get bread for your family. So
okay, so in those shops, as far as you know, because your male friend is coming, your friend is coming, and giving you some supplies. They're not out of stock. There's still food there because, you know, I have friends who now are sending me or posting on Instagram in cities like Zaporizhia, in Mykolaiv, that they're in the supermarkets that they're going to, they're almost out of you know, stock. They're empty shelves.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah. You can't buy everything there. For example, we asked our friend to buy meat. He brought us sausages. And that's it. So we eat
Okay.
sausages and we have salo. So we
Sal,
eat
the
salo.
traditional pork
Yeah,
fat, yeah. Okay.
yeah. So you know, my friends and I, we have salo in our fridges, so we brought it with us. So yesterday for the breakfast, I ate bread with salo and coffee, and I felt happy about that. And today in the morning, I ate sausages with porridge, and I have coffee. And you know, when you eat this kind of food, it is so delicious, and you think, oh, this food is so good. You know, just simple food, and we have bread, and you eat it, and you think, oh, it is so good. I'm not hungry, and the happiness in the simple things, you know. And when I because you know, we have our things with us. I have a backpack, so when I need to go to the cement to the basement very fast, I have a backpack with the
Yeah.
warm clothes, you know, with my documents. And when I need to gather my things together, I was standing and in my apartment and thinking, what do I need? Actually, I don't need anything. What to take? I don't know what to take. Just documents and some warm clothes. And you think, I don't need anything. I don't care about my new camera. I don't know. I don't care about the lighting. I don't care about some stuff in my apartment. Just warm clothes and documents. That's it. And when you have some we have a warm, it is warm in our apartment, we have heating, we have some food, and you really appreciate very
Yeah.
simple things.
Yeah, you know, my heart goes out to you. It's extremely tragic. I've been to Kherson. You know, I filmed videos there. It's very real for me as well. I'm glad that I got out in time with Angela. And my heart goes out to everybody who's obviously trapped there. And I mean, obviously, we're going to put your Instagram handle and your website here on the screen, and then down a link down below in the description if you want to reach out and help you personally. Or speak to you personally about what's going on in Kherson. And as I said, I made so many videos in the beautiful places around the city. You know, it's absolutely unthinkable. And yeah, this is the way it was in August 1939 in Poland. People went around their lives, and then bigger powers decided on the, you know, the 31st of August, 1st of September, to start invading and trying to destroy the country. And this has a huge human cost. And I really want people to understand that it's not just what happens on a political level. There are real people struggling in Ukraine today, and the situation is extremely scary. This is and maybe this is a fault of me. Maybe until this, I didn't care enough, you know, about what goes on in other parts of the world where similar things happen. And you know, it affects me because I was living in Ukraine and I have so many friends. And it, you know, it's not a country, even though I know the war has been going on since 2014, it's been localized in Donbass, parts of Donbass, and in Crimea, obviously, which was a bit of a different situation in terms of violence. You know, there's a lot less violence, obviously, there. But, you know, I've been making videos showing people how life has been normal even last week. And this is how quickly it can flip. And just the human tragedy is incalculable. And it's anyone who thinks afterwards that that Ukrainians or Russians, you know, they're going to be best buddies is delusional. Right? This is exactly what you know. I made delusion about a lot of things that happened in Ireland in yesterday's video, and how British policy isolated Irish people, made them want to be independent even more. And yeah, I just reacting maybe off the cuff because I got a comment from someone who was talking about how, yeah, it's going to split Rus. It's like, then. And then don't evade it. If you want people, you know, if you want good relations, the worst thing you can do is invading. That's basically what has been the result of the policies by Putin since 2014. He's just lost support. Russia's brand is in the toilet. And we have this huge humanitarian crisis that's now taking place. It's going to be clearly the biggest humanitarian crisis, bigger than the war in the 90s in the former Yugoslavia, probably almost already. I think in terms of life lost, obviously there was genocide taking place in the former Yugoslavia. But hopefully none of that happens. But we're definitely looking at for also for Russia, for the Russian soldiers who've been sent. This is what they're dying for. Like for what? For a period project by basically a crazy leader at this stage. And yeah, I hope some Russians get to see exactly what's going on. They're not just going to be relying on their state propaganda, and they actually can come on and see, on platforms like YouTube and Telegram or whatever it is, Instagram, exactly what's happening in real time, and that's essential. So thanks, Ina, for coming on today. I don't know if you have a final message that you want to communicate to people who are watching.
I want to tell you that this is the tragedy, not only of Ukraine, but the whole world. And it is so dangerous for everybody. And we didn't expect it. All Ukrainians, we believed that it will never happen till the last minute of the first explosion. It was a big shock of us because we considered that, yes, the war can be in the north, the east again, or in the south of Ukraine, but we didn't expect that they will attack the whole Ukraine and start bombing all the cities everywhere. So it will, I'm still shocked. I'm very upset. I'm depressed because I'm alone. My parents are behind the bridge and I can't see them. My husband is at war. My people die for nothing. My country is suffering, is crying. Ukraine is on fire. It's horrible. It's horrible, and I hope it will soon I hope it will end very soon, and I believe we will win because we are a very strong nation and we have a very big spirit. And yes, the history has a tendency to repeat, but I believe that we will win for sure, because we are eager to protect our families, our cities, our motherland. So I want to say, everybody in the world, please don't be silent, speak up, do whatever you can do. If you can't donate to Ukrainian army, to the refugees, please do it. If you can sign the petitions, please write the post on your social media, go to the protest, do whatever you can do. Together we will win. We see the support of the whole world, and it is very important for us, believe me. It makes me stronger when I get your messages. It is very important, guys, really. And because you never know when the war can happen. We didn't expect it, but it is happening right now. So guys, if you don't want it to be continued, if you don't want Russia comes to your country and start the war there, please stop it together with us.
Exactly, here. I mean, because this is not going to stop with Ukraine. There are other countries. Moldova doesn't have much of an army. Why would Putin stop if he manages to take Ukraine? Georgia doesn't have much defenses. Then it's all, then we start talking about the Baltics, or talking about Finland, or talking about Scotland, of Sweden. It's history does repeat itself. And the analogy with Hitler's advance, I mean, I think thankfully the small silver lining is, like, Hitler was obviously a racist and genocidal. So far, Putin is not that, at least. But short of that, that's about the only difference. It's imperial revanchism. He just doesn't. And he made the speech. I made a video about it where I outlined. I took the Kremlin's official in language version. It's just quite simple. He doesn't believe Ukraine has a right to be independent. Doesn't believe in its borders, and that's just the first country. and he's going to start with everywhere else that he thinks that he has a chance of taking. It's the way that, unfortunately, he wants to see the end of his rule being defined. I hope that is extremely short end. Oh, Blin.
We need to finish. I need
Yes, okay.
to hide. Yes.
Okay. Do
Yes.
pobacenia, Ina.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye, bye.
So that was a very dramatic end. Ina's written to me since that she's still okay, that she's down in the basement of her apartment. So fingers crossed. It's really depressing and tragic situation. This is Europe 2022. It's just really, really sad. So if you can do something to contribute to the humanitarian crisis that's been unleashed, or help, Ukrainian military to defend the country, be super, super appreciated. Slava Ukraini, Heroям слава.